you joined the Working Writer School when I had first. I think you were actually in the second cohort that I did.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious, like, where were you in your life, and what made you decide to join the program when you did?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what year that was. Was that the end of COVID, sort of
It must have been. I feel like it must have been. Yeah, because I was in
2021?
LA at the time. I'm pretty sure I was in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Megan Ross had recommended it, and she is a filmmaker who I respect as like a hustler who gets things done. And I liked the idea of joining a program that just talked about very tactically how to exist as a writer, as a filmmaker in the industry. I'm really good at operating within systems, but I'm not good at structuring them myself. It actually stresses me out, and it puts me in kind of like a hyperactive overdrive. I think I'm like a type A, like producer type person who likes to be making things and doing things and feels really anxious when I'm not doing things. And I think that if I'm left unchecked, I kind of like go into overdrive and burn out. And I actually remember one time when I came on to one of the like office hours hangout sessions that you would put on as part of that community. And I was like, I just finished my job as an assistant, and I
Yeah.
also like I did this like abortion access fundraiser sketch show, and I also just did the Film Independent Lab, and I'm like, what do I do next? How do I start? And I'm like Charlotte, what do I do? And then you're like, I think you should rest. I think you should take a break. And I actually gave myself, I think, a week or maybe two, and it was absolutely necessary. And so, yeah, I came to it to have some kind of guidance like that, and almost like get third party permission to figure out what a sustainable way of living and working and managing your own career, what that looks like. And it was so refreshing at every stage. Like it was just very refreshing. And I think you created like a curriculum and like a space that was very like accepting of acknowledging anxiety and our sort of need to be doing, but then also giving us permission to rest. And that was very important to me.
I love that. I'm so glad. And you know what? I of course respect the hustle, and I loved your hustle when I saw you doing all the things that you were doing. And I think that there's, periods in our career where we have to be like relentless.
Yes.
I think there are moments where you have to like take the, what do you call it? Take the horns.
Yeah, take the bull by the horns.
Bull by the horns.
Yet I get an image of a car for some reason, but like you're taking the wheel. I know.
Yeah, take the wheel
totally.
of the car. There's parts of your career where you gotta be relentless when you have the energy, when you have the circumstances. Maybe you don't have kids yet. Maybe, or maybe you just have a burst of energy. Maybe you're super inspired. Like there are moments in life where you have to seize the opportunity. But when I was listening to you and knowing my own history with burnout and my own history with overachievement, like an overachieving drive, a relentless inner critic that never even understood the concept of rest. Like, like
rest
it's
is
only,
not okay.
Not only is rest not okay, like rest is not even a part of the equation. Like it's, you know what I mean? Totally. And just having had that experience and being so, I just so related to where you were and what you were doing, and just knowing that like, because I never even had the concept of inserting rest in my pursuit, I completely burned out. And I just feel like because we enter this incredibly unstructured career where we're the ones who are generating all of the work for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we're literally, quite literally, creating a career out of thin air.
Yeah.
And that requires a tremendous amount of energy, but it also requires a, how would I describe it? I would almost say like a stewardship, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, because no one else is structuring our days for us, that means that um we have to be caring of our own need for rest and rejuvenation. And
Yeah.
like, and I think that, like, you know, I'm so respectful of the hustle, but what I realize is that, like, you just can't give yourself to the craft when you have nothing left. Like,
Absolutely.
and if
It's
you don't prioritize rest and structure it for yourself, literally no one else is going to do it for you, because that's just not how this career works.
right, right.
Yeah,
And the ironic thing is like we have, if we look at our behavior, we've gotten to this place of success. Like we are rewarded for the hustle
absolutely.
usually. So it's so counterintuitive to do that. And like we're operating from this place of like survival lizard brain, and it's not sustainable. And it's been very hard to learn how to build in rest into my regular days. And I think I'm learning. And I also think, this last year I wrote and directed my first feature, which was a micro budget. So it was like, thank you.
So exciting. Silent
That for
clap.
yeah, silent clap.
For
It was
anyone who can't see, yeah.
gorgeous. But it was like it I was running on fumes for lots of parts of it. And I found myself in these moments of post production where there were lulls, but there were things that needed to be done. Sometimes I would just shut down and I would just go and watch Survivor, which was great because I was like, they shot Survivor on an island. I shot my movie on an island,
Oh, wow.
but also like this isn't narrative. It's not. And I'm like, I just escape into that world and like needed to shut off. And it became almost like a crutch procrastination thing where I was
For
like,
sure.
I like knew in my head that I needed to be doing something and moving this thing forward, or somebody is waiting on me. And like, this is really towards the end where I was like extra burnt out, but I was like, I can't do it yet. I was like doing this weird, like anti-productive procrastinating. And and I think it was because there was just no built-in rest the whole
Yeah.
time. And so that's like a huge learning for me. I think, to your point, I've been able to label the idea of the ebb and flow of like, there's the times where you need to hustle and there's the times where you need to rest. I really think that being a creative person, it's like a seasonal thing. Like you're in productivity season, you're in reset season, you're in like learning season, and that's how I feel like things are unfolding.